This is Foxy Jael, and these are the top stories making the headlines in Dominica and the Caribbean region for the week ending January 31st, 2025. I welcome you to react to the top stories in the comment section below, and following this broadcast, I will post the links to these stories. Now, here's the news snapshot. French authorities open investigation following fatal plane crash in Dominica. This was reported by the Dominica News Online. What do you think, guys, happened? According to the reports, authorities in Martinique have opened a judicial investigation of involuntary manslaughter into a fatal plane crash in Dominica that took the lives of 4 French nationals. The decision was taken following a crisis unit meeting earlier in the week, and the investigation is being led by the prosecutor of Fort-de-France, which will be carried out by a highly specialized team from the Air Transport of Paris. On January 26, the plane departed the Douglas Charles Airport at 3:46 p.m. and was en route to Martinique when it crashed in the mountains near the village of La Plaine. The wreckage was spotted the following day. Since the area is difficult to access, attempts to reach the area began on Tuesday with specialized teams from the Martinique Fire Brigade. The names of the victims of the crash were made public by the prosecutor. They are Jean-Benoit A., age 23, co-pilot Marvin Belizon, age 41, Kylian Bessoube, age 23, and Marceline Martineau, age 25. Our condolences go out to the family and friends of the victims. Dominica records the second murder of the year. This was reported by Nature Island News. What are your thoughts about this case? Dominica has recorded its second murder of the year as the police confirmed the shooting death of retired public servant Garneth Jolly at his residence in Everton Estate, Loubier, on January 28, 2025. According to the police reports, they received information of the shooting in Everton Estate just past noon, and on arrival met the body of Jolly lying in what appeared to be a pool of blood. Investigations on this case is still ongoing. On January 11, Dominica recorded its first murder of the year in the case of a Salisbury man, Chevron Devon Larocque, who was stabbed multiple times all over his body and was pronounced dead by a medical doctor. Why spend hours consuming news? Get the top stories in under 15 minutes on a news snapshot with yours truly. Follow and subscribe for my weekly updates on the top stories making the headlines. Dominica government updates on the Cabritz Marina construction. How do you think the construction of the Cabritz Marina will impact Dominica's economy? The government of Dominica recently provided an update on the Cabritz Marina construction with a progress video posted on social media. In a post made by the Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, he expressed that the world-class facility is a major investment in Dominica's tourism sector and will position Dominica as a premier destination for yachting and marine tourism. In the video, the parliamentary representatives for the Portsmouth and Cottage constituency, Honorable Fenella Wenham Shepherd and Honorable Roland Roy, respectively spoke on the benefits of this marina and how it will create jobs and opportunities for not only their constituencies, but for the nearby communities as well.
The initial part of the project was held up simply because we had to identify a dump site because of the nature of the material we are removing. We couldn't put it on site, so we had to find an alternative site to actually put what you call a temporary waste storage area. The intention is to lay it out there for a period of time, and then when we are developing the mangrove swamp, the revetments, and all the other surrounding infrastructure, to use that same material and repurpose it. So that gave us a little 2 months hiatus on the project, but right now they have completed the preparation of the dump site, and what they are doing now is accelerating the access routes to allow for dredging works to happen.
The full video, you can check out the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit Facebook page on the recent updates on the Cabritz Marina construction. The Kalinago Development Fund to receive $2.7 million.
We will be putting about $2.7 million into the Canada Development Fund. And these are the kind of things that we want the fund to be used for. Not consumables, but things that can bring a return to you. Things that can make you money. Things that can employ people. Things that can bring the euros and the pounds and the US here into the Salibé constituency to multiply and to add to what we have and to create economic activity in this constituency. In the Salibé constituency, we invest in through the NEP on a monthly basis $226,304. So every month, the government is putting that money in the hands of people in that constituency. That's a lot of money, empowering people. Through these programs, we have taken people out of poverty.
And that was the Prime Minister speaking at a town hall meeting held in the Salibé constituency, and as reported by the Dominica Broadcasting Service. On Wednesday evening at a government town hall meeting in Salibé, the Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, announced that the Kalinago Development Fund is set to receive $2.7 million. The Kalinago Development Fund was established in 2022 to increase access to credit for the Kalinago people. Do you think this donation to the fund will positively impact the Kalinago community? And Dominica Bar Association expresses disappointment regarding electoral reform bills. This was reported by the Dominica News Online. The Dominica Bar Association expressed deep disappointment over the omission of a controversial 5-year absence eligibility clause in the government electoral reform bills now awaiting parliamentary approval. This clause requires that individuals who have been absent from the country for 5 years or more be disqualified from the electoral roll. DBA President Noelis Knight Didier, while speaking at a Dominica Business Forum organized event, pointing to the lack of government consultations on these draft laws, which have now transitioned into bills awaiting parliamentary approval. She underscored that the electoral reform bills are no ordinary legislation, as they directly impact the democratic process in Dominica. The Bar Association has formally communicated its concerns to the Attorney General, noting the current bills deviate significantly from the association's previous submissions. How important do you think this issue is? And in regional news, St. Kitts Crown Council charged with aiding wanted man to flee. This was reported in the St. Vincent Times. Do you think there are attorneys who are corrupt and should be exposed? Well, earlier this week, it was announced that St. Kitts Crown Council prosecutor Chantrice Dorset was charged with aiding an unwanted man to flee the country. The 29-year-old faces 6 charges which relate to the murder case involving a fugitive suspect who remains at large, and it is alleged that Ms. Dorset, in her capacity as an attorney and Crown Counsel, played a role in hindering the investigation into the case. The charges include accessories after the fact to murder, 3 counts of attempting to pervert the course of justice, misconduct in public office, and corruption. This case is the first time a sitting attorney and Crown Counsel has been arrested and charged with offenses of this magnitude in St. Kitts and Nevis. You're watching News Snapshot. Follow and subscribe for my weekly updates on the top stories making the headlines. An American airline and U.S. Army helicopter collide, leaving dozens dead and at least 14 missing. And this was reported by CNN. How do you feel about flying after hearing about this? Well, in the U.S. earlier this week, an American Airlines regional jet and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter collided mid-air in the Washington, D.C. area and is being described as the deadliest accident since 2001. According to CNN, efforts have been suspended for the night, with at least 14 people still missing and dozens of bodies have been removed from the Potomac River, where the aircraft crashed after the collision. The plane was carrying 64 people, while 3 soldiers were aboard the helicopter. The National Transportation Safety Board, which is leading the probe into the collision, said that the plane's flight data and voice recorders, known as black boxes, have been recovered. The agency hopes to have a preliminary report ready within 30 days. And that's it for this week's news snapshot. Check back here as I will update on a developing story and how it unfolds. For more information in the comment box, follow and subscribe for the next news snapshot. This is Foxy Jael signing out.